You.
Peace, 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 peace. It's your boy, Mad Nubian, tuning in. Man, I was just building with one of the gods, you know what I'm saying? And we was talking about how I came into the science of the ancients, you know what I'm saying? In the ancient science. And now I'm working my way to the ancient mystery schools of thoughts and things like that. And like I said, I came from being a Christian, Muslim, 5%. And I'm still a 5% because I know who the true and living God is. But I'm not a part of the NOI or NGE or none of that. But I always be a 5%. Anybody that knows who the true and living God is and know that God is not a mystery is always a 5%, no matter if you're a Christian or what. So for anybody that's saying 5% thinking you got to be NGE or NOI, that's false. You know what I'm saying? That's just a percentage of people who know and true, who teach the truth and know who the true and living God is. But make a long story short, I was telling him how I came into the schools of thought. You feel me? And I was telling him, man, I started off as a Christian, and being a Christian and stuff like that. You know, like I said, we grew up in the church and things like that. You know, what young black person didn't really grow up in a household where religion, mostly Christianity was pushed upon them. But like I said, I've been going through a lot of off and ons. That'd be on another bill, but through my life, and one day I decided to go and join the ministry. I got into the ministry, to change my life. It was a 9-month program. It's a thing called the Restoration House for people that been in jail, on drugs, who having a troubled life, and who's trying to get their life back on track. It's a program. And I joined this program, and it was a 9-month program. And I've been to this program 3 times because I kept leaving. You know what I'm saying? And there was a reason I kept leaving, but I kept fighting and saying, believing in the mystery God and believing in the mystery devil and all these things, not knowing all those things was within myself. And I was my biggest enemy, and I was my biggest God and my biggest healer. But not knowing these things at the moment, I went back to this ministry, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Trying to get right and trying to finish this program, but I never finished it up because I felt like a slave in that program. I felt like we was doing more fundraising and going to raise money 6 days a week, damn near 8-9 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? Out in the sun all damn day, especially during the summer season. Having flyers to get people to donate money to the church, and I feel like that's what we was always there. That felt like that's what we was there for, to raise money for the church, to raise money for the pastor, and we weren't really there to really get spiritual healing. Just a couple of Bible verses, 30-minute Bible study, some prayer time, and that was that. Like I said, I can do that all alone. I can do that all on my own. I really don't need no one to go to no program to do that. I feel like we did more fundraising and more, you know what I'm saying? Only got 1 day off on a week, and that was Sundays, you know what I'm saying? The rest of the days, 8 hours, 9 hours a day, we was fundraising. Monday through Saturday, we was fundraising. And it came to a point when I got thinking like, damn, I feel like a slave, you feel me? I feel just like a goddamn slave. And I feel like I was being pimped. Like I said, I don't know how the other, but we all was being pimped, but some of them didn't come up to the conclusion of that thought. But like I say, some of us remain blind. I started waking up then. I was like, this shit's a fraud, man. We here, and the reason I knew it was a fraud, because one day when I was out fundraising, and I ain't gonna say no names, or say the pastor name, or say I ain't gonna even say the ministry name, but when I was out fundraising for these people, man, we had $100 mark. We had to make like $100, whatever over $100. Get in here, sit down. Sit down. Alright, first come here, sit down until I get done building. Sit down right there. But we was making, we had to make $100 mark, and whatever we made over, we can keep for ourselves. So say if I made $110, I keep $10 to myself. Which I felt that was bogus as hell. You sitting out in the sun all day trying to raise all this money, and you only getting, you know what I'm saying? You don't even get. You should get more than that. You feel what I'm saying? You making the mark too goddamn high, and then some days when you didn't make your mark, you would say, for instance, the quarter for the day was $100, and I only made $75. I'm only $25 off from $100. These motherfuckers, when you get back to the ministry and turn the money in, they'll get mad at you when you turn the money in. They get angry with you, mad at you, and all these certain things. And they would get mad at you and things like that. And I'm like, this ain't right, bro. They getting mad at you, snatch your money out your hand, and say it's all about the money here. So I don't even want to be here no more. I left. You know what I'm saying? And then I came back, but I think I came back a month later. But then when I came back, I went to another ministry, but this one was in California. You feel me? So I went out to California and did that ministry, and it was the same damn thing. But this one, we did less Bible study. We did more fundraising. You know what I'm saying? And what really ticked me off was guys from the previous ministry knew this pastor, and they were so jealous. Most of the time, I made my quarter in some, and they would get jealous and tell the pastors and them that I was stealing money out the bucket. Me and the pastor had a talk, and he said, "Oh, I don't believe them. I don't believe them. I know they just hating on you and they jealous, boom, boom." But at the end of the day, he would always come and check my bucket and make sure, you didn't take nothing out the bucket. You didn't take nothing out the bucket. Like, bro, I ain't got to take shit from y'all. If I need something, I'm going to ask you for it. First of all, I ain't got to take no money out this bucket. And I feel like this is all we here for, is to raise money for this damn ministry. And I don't like this shit. So I decided to leave the ministry. This time I left and I ain't come back. And that was the end of that. I left. And I was like, I'm done with all this stuff, man. I'm just going to do God my way. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. So back on the street, back at the shelter and stuff. Back living the street life again. And one day I seen a guy in a suit and bow tie. You know what I'm saying? Brother David. You know what I'm saying? To be Pacific. And Muslim brother. He had the final calls. And you know what I'm saying? He was looking straight at me. Like he was looking straight at me. Like eyes was locked on me. He had a big old smile on his face. Like, brother, it's time. I'm like, time for what? He said, it's time, man. Take one of these final calls. It's time to go check out the mosque. So I said, maybe this is my calling, you know, to go to the mosque and get down with the Nation of Islam. So I'm going to go check it out before I join. I checked it out, met the brothers and sisters there, man. It was a lecture that day with Farrakhan. He was teaching, you know what I'm saying, but not at the actual mosque, but he was in Chicago, but everybody in the mosque had him on the live, on the wall, on the screen, and you know, after that, so I decided to join. I never got actually registered with the Nation of Islam. I got to leave on some personal business. But that's when I came into the knowledge itself. Into Elijah Muhammad and the message to the black man and understanding the black man was God and a lot of extra teachings. But once I left out of the mosque and me not being able to get to register because of some personal reasons that came up, I still stayed in my Muslim studies. And then, you know, I was online building with some Muslim brothers. I happened to run across 5% of brothers on there, some 5% NGE brothers. And I started going to some of those teachings, you know, supreme mathematics, supreme alphabets, and all those type of things. But it was almost the same as the Nation of Islam teachings. Only thing different was the supreme mathematics and supreme alphabet. And I felt like the Nation of Islam had supreme mathematics and supreme alphabets, but it was in a different form, more so in lesson form. You get what I'm saying? Then all these different alphabetical words and all this shit, but another bill for another time. Anyway, I joined that. Came into that school of thought, got fed up with the bickering of who's a Muslim and who's not, and there ain't no such thing as a Muslim God, and we're not gods, we're Muslims, and we're Muslim gods, and all this bickering shit, and a lot of motherfuckers who know, they know what that is about. Anybody that's in the 5% Nation of Islam or the 5% Nation of Gods on Earth know the conflict between the Nation of Islam and the NGE. And I feel like we almost the same nation because the Nation of Gods on Earth came out of the Nation of Islam from Clarence 13X or Clarence Jowers Smith. He was in the Nation of Islam, and he had became a renegade Muslim and left the Nation of Islam and decided to go to the streets with the lessons to teach the children. That's how the Nation of God's Earth and Allah's 5%, all that shit started. But anyway, it was a lot of bickering and going on, boom, boom. So like I said, I still stayed in my studies. I'm still in my studies today, but like I said, I go different. I build on all sciences. I came to that conclusion, and I'll get to that point in a minute. So eventually, I decided to leave that and come to ancient Kemetic teachings as far as the Nubian nation and Kemetic teachings and so forth of that nature. And when I came into that teaching, that kind of resonated with me more too. And believe it or not, when I came into that teaching, I was so able to understand the teachings. Some of the Nubian teachings, even though some of the Nubian teachings were weird at first because of all the extraterrestrial things and this and that. But when I got to listen to some of Dr. York's lectures and some of his bills online, he got to breaking down the Bible to us, and it got to becoming more clear to me and more understanding. And also by having the teachings of the Nation of Islam and the 5%ers, or the NGE, whatever, the Supreme Mathematics, believe it or not, in those lessons from the Nation of Islam and the Supreme Mathematics and Supreme Alphabet from the NGE, I was able to understand some of the Nubian and Kemetic teachings because of those lessons. And I go back to my lessons and refer to, like I said, those lessons are universal. Everything is universal within the knowledge of self. You just got to know how to apply these things. I ain't really too much feel about always, when I was in 5%, always building on 120, 120, 120. That's all. You have to just focus on 120, 120. That, to me, I feel like it was more knowledge out there to be gained than just some damn 120. So I decided to up it up an ante, and I decided to come into the sciences of Nuwabu, and Kemetic, whatever I want to call it. I'm not a part of the Nubian nation, but I studied the Nubian nation. I'm a part of my own nation, which is Mad Nubian. You know what I'm saying? We study all sciences of science, you know what I'm saying? From 5% teachings to Kemetic teachings, the Muslim teachings, and we combine it all together to get an understanding. A lot of people say you can't mix truth with falsehood, but if you know how to accept the truth from the falsehood, you'll be okay. But that's another topic for another time. But I came into this teaching, and it resonated with me more because it was more on a spiritual science. You know what I'm saying? This science was based more on controlling the mind, controlling the thoughts, controlling the energy fields around you, controlling the frequencies, and being able. It was more disciplinary in the Kemetic teachings. You know what I'm saying? Disciplining yourself on the right foods to eat, and teaching yourself what kind of foods to eat and put in your body. And this gave me discipline on a lot of other things. You know what I'm saying? Discipline on how I thought, discipline on how I acted around people. It gave me a lot of discipline. And it taught me how to go deep into meditation, how to control frequencies and vibrations, how to heal myself through frequencies and vibrations through meditation or sound right reasoning, understanding, overstanding, and all these certain things. And it was almost like the Kemetic school of thought, I got the understanding, to me, was really the root of most of the teachings. You know what I'm saying? And I started to understand when I got into the Kemetic teachings and ancient Egyptian teachings, and whatever y'all want to call it, Nuwabu. I just call it all Egyptian teachings because it all come from Egypt and ancient Africa, ancient Egypt, ancient Africa. When I came into this science, I got the understanding that that was really the root teachings. But all the other teachings started to correspond with it, so I got to understand that a lot of those teachings really came from that. What teaching didn't come from the most ancient teachings? You know what I'm saying? Even Christianity came from the most ancient teachings of Kemet in ancient Egypt. So it started to resonate with me a little bit more, and I started to understand this science was more having to do with the temple and the mind and the spirit and the soul, the ancient teachings of Kemet. And I started to understand it's almost like building a house. We have to be able to build a temple up through being able to control the mind, the spirit, and the soul, and the body through these teachings of vibrations and frequencies. Before we put the furniture in the house, you have to put up the wall, the roof of your house before you put furniture in it. Because if you put furniture in your house and you just got the base laid down, which is the knowledge of self, you already got to understand what knowledge of self is or who the true and living God is. That's the base. That's the floor. Okay? Now, you got to put the walls up, which is being able to control the temple and the roof. You know what I'm saying? You got to put the walls and the roof up, because if you put the base down, the knowledge of self, you come to the knowledge of self, and you put the base down, and you just throw all the furniture in, which is the extra teachings like Supreme Mathematics and Alphabet, 120 and 360 degrees, and all these other different lessons. If you put all that in, that's called the furniture. To me, that's extra teachings. That's stuff that you learn after once you control the body and mind, because there's a lot of gods that was building but didn't have control of their mind, nor their body, nor their spirit, nor their soul. Because you can see it in their build. You can see it online. You can see the way they talk to each other. You can see the way they down one another. You can see all these things. You can see they just have knowledge, but they have no foundation around their house. So they just going every which way and still living a beast life, but don't have no discipline. So you have to have discipline, which is the walls and the roof. Because if you put the furniture in, which is the 120 lessons, and it start raining, the furniture and stuff gets wet. So when I mean by raining, when hard trials and tribulations come, and you ain't got self-control and discipline of your mind, body, and soul and spirit, you still acting like an 85%. You just have knowledge. So you have to put the roof and the walls and things on the house, so when it rains, you will be protected, and also everything in the house will be protected, which is the extra teachings as far as the 120 and 360 degrees, the book of the 360 degrees. A lot of people don't know about that book, so I might but I got a book called 360 Degrees. Once you put all those teachings in, once you come into control of the mind, body, and spirit and soul, then you can put everything else in the house because you'll know how to use it. You know what I'm saying? Because you have control of the mind, body, spirit, and soul. See, a lot of guys, they use that knowledge. They have no foundation, so they use the knowledge that they do get, the extra teachings, to bash one another with. You know what I'm saying? Because they have no discipline. You still see a lot of guys on there smoking and drinking. And like I said, I'm not bashing anybody who does these things because, like I said, we're not perfect. But you have to have discipline because without discipline, knowledge is nothing. You got to have discipline. You know what I'm saying? Because discipline will show you how to be able to use the knowledge. And the ancient Kemetic science taught me how to have more discipline, how to control my thought waves, how to control frequencies and things and vibrations, and how to control the way I think. You know what I'm saying? And how to control the way I carry myself and things like that. And these teachings taught me that. And you know, I tell a lot of people, a lot of guys is like, man, you studying that, bro? Don't go to that Kemetic sign, all that stuff. Don't go to the Wabu sign, all this stuff is just a bunch of bull crap and this and that. I said maybe for you it is because you have no discipline, you have no understanding. You know what I'm saying? You just gonna learn some lessons, some 120 lessons, quote that shit back and forth to each other. Who knows this? All 93 million miles away from the sun. Blah 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 blah. Who's the supreme being black man? The supreme being black man is the Asiatic black man, the ruler of the planet of the earth. All that, you know. I ain't gonna say dumb part and stuff, but all that type of shit. And you're not really having discipline on how to, you know, use that knowledge. You want to use that knowledge just to show off, showboat, bash each other, and you're not really doing nothing with it. And not a lot of guys in the nation of Islam or the NGE was doing that, but majority of them were. And but anyway, I came into this science. I'm building with another brother that's been in this science. You know what I'm saying? I'm a divine seeker of light. Now, I'm also diving into teachings such as, you know, teachings of the ancient schools, the mystery schools, so that way I can also be one to find knowledge and give knowledge and come up with my own understanding and be able to present new knowledge that hasn't been presented yet. You know what I'm saying? Instead of reading knowledge that other men that came up with 50, 60 years ago and just reading knowledge that they came up with, I'm diving into a study where I'm able to go and correct some of the knowledge that's not accurate, that needs to be updated. And that's why a lot of guys is always arguing about, oh, he didn't teach this, father didn't teach this, the father didn't teach that, because they haven't renewed their knowledge. And even Honorable Elijah Muhammad said we all should renew our knowledge, renew our history. And delving into the ancient mystery schools is teaching me how to renew history, and it's teaching me also how to discover new knowledge that hasn't been presented yet. You get what I'm saying? So I'm on a higher plane. I'm coming up. You get what I'm saying? And this has worked for me because it's teaching me my true powers. It's teaching me to be a founder instead of just a student. I'm always going to be a student of knowledge itself, but I'm also going to be a teacher and a founder of knowledge as well. You know what I'm saying? Because if you constantly following teachings from another guy, another man, all you are is just really a follower. You're not really a producer. You're not really a founder. You're not really a teacher. You just a spokesman of that teacher. You get what I'm saying? That's all you really are. So people say, oh, I got 120. I'm teaching this guy that. You're not really not teaching him anything. You just giving him information that you was given. Almost like Christianity. They give you information, the pastor give you information that they was given, but they have no knowledge of what's the real accurate knowledge. They don't do their research and things like this. And this school of thought, the ancient mystery schools, the ancient Kemetic schools, the Wabu science, is teaching me how to also be a researcher and a discoverer of knowledge at the same time. So for all who watching this video, man, I just suggest that always, you know, never, you know, turn away from knowledge. Somebody's teaching you knowledge, but also do your research instead of just saying, well, this is what we got, this is what the 120 lessons say, and that's what we going on, and not doing research and discovering and renewing your history and getting a better understanding. That's why there's a lot of bickering going on. But the main point of this bill is to teach people and tell people that you have to, the knowledge itself, like I say, many are called, but few are chosen. So a lot of people that's gonna stay in what school they thought they in, and they'll never elevate. And maybe that's good for them. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they wasn't one of the chosen ones. But me, like I told one of the guys that mentored me, he was saying I was crazy for going into these ancient studies, and now that was just a waste of time. But to me, it's starting to open up my eyes to a lot of things, and it's starting to give me more of a direction on where I want to take my life, and it's starting to give me a purpose. Like I want to discover new knowledge and be able to present new knowledge as well, and be able to create a school, my own school of thought, with this extra knowledge that I have, and also being able to present the knowledge that I've been had. You get what I'm saying with that, and being able to bring about sound right reasoning and overstanding. And see, a lot of people, they stuck in old teachings, just like a lot of people stuck in these old ancient books, such as the Quran or the Bible, and coming into these ancient mystery schools of thought. It'll help you be able to find and make new discoveries in these books, or undercover discoveries, or uncover parts of uncover mysteries and knowledge in these books that no one else has uncovered before. So, for all you out there, man, that's wanting to up your aim and your ante on your knowledge of self and your science, man, go for it, man. Don't let nobody try to lead you. You lead them, and you'll know who to follow and you'll know who not to follow by the divine. But you have to be able to come into contact with the divine frequencies and energies around you to be able to be guided to the light and be able to know. So it's your boy Knowledge Malikk, aka Mad Nubian, and I'm out.